What's going on there, race fans? Apex Predator here again, and I thought today we can take a look at some of these Bathurst dailies because I love the track. It's one of my favourite tracks in the world. I've been enjoying driving it despite the penalties. I think we always need to crack on a little bit with those penalties now. It's not all about winning, as I think we'll see from these couple of races. So let's jump in with this one. This is a Group 4. I was debating playing this one, but it's just a penalty fest again. And I've said everything I want to say about the penalties. Really, you all know what's going on with those now. So we'll just jump into this Group 3 one. This was from today. I think it was race B on the dailies. So it's only 3 laps. No tyre wear, no fuel wear. I did try fairly hard to qualify for this one. So I got a lap that I was quite happy with, but it still wasn't enough for P1. I can't remember where I started now. I think it was P2. But Bathurst is another tricky track to overtake on, and I just didn't want to risk anything with the penalties. But we'll see how it unfolds. I'll probably do 2 because they're only short races, so I'll do this one and then we'll do that other one as well. Right, here we go. Stick these on. And we'll let the auto drive do its thing. And off we go. Right, so starting P2. I think me and him had very similar. I think it was only a 10th between us. Meister effects. So through Porsche corner, it's very crucial to get a good drive all the way down here. It used to be called Hell Corner, I think, that corner. Now it's called Porsche. I don't know why. I think they've got the sponsorship banners on the concrete wall on the right as you drive through. Down we go towards Griffin's Bends. It's quite important to hook it up on the inside here. Very easy to run wide. So see that sort of camber in the road. It's quite important. Just hook the car into there and just let the suspension do its thing, and that will stop you from running off out wide towards the wall. Wide on the entrance here, you want to be aiming for that wall, try and hug it, because again the camber just sort of helps you through the corner and it stops you getting pulled off towards the outside wall. Just about do this flat out, and behind another car maybe not. And you'll see here we're looking a bit racier than this guy. We're looking a bit faster, but there's just nowhere to get through. So look, we're taking it easy, not driving at the maximum, just trying to maintain a neat line. I don't even want to hassle him too much because I did another race here where I hassled someone and they made a mistake through the dipper just through here, and it just speared me off the track, and it was another 3-second penalty, and that was a potential win gone to like an 8th or something in the end. So I don't want to push this guy too hard, I just want to try and follow him, and if there's an opportunity I'll take it, and if there's not, I'm not going to worry about it. You know, it's not all about winning. Sometimes you just got to take the race as it comes. Don't try and force it too hard. I think that's going to be the theme for this video. It's not all about the winning. Just try and enjoy the race. Easier said than done, I know, especially when you're getting pressured from behind. You need everyone to be on the same page really for that approach to work. But so far it's going okay. Let's see what's going on behind. Okay, so it's just me and him really. Show the nose here, a little look, see if he'll run deep, but he doesn't, so I'll let him take the corner, come out of it again. But yeah, because there's not so much pressure from behind, you can afford to just have this kind of, it's not, you know, I'm not getting pressured into feeling like I have to force the way through. We can just take our time and try and have a race. So again, down towards Griffin. I can't remember what that straight's called. Conrod's the other one, the main one. Well, there's a straight called the main straight, but it's really short. So the longest straight is Conrod. The one as you come across the start finish is the main straight. I can't remember what this one's called, but anyway, into Griffin. He's very wide through there, look, has a little bit of a squirrel, and again, a bit squirmy. So we're faster. We've got the run, but there's no room. He gives us the squeeze. He's made another mistake into the cutting, and another one. So now look, we've got the momentum, but it's just, there's no room. And that slight touch there, that was a penalty. So we're going to have to serve that. And where do you serve a penalty on Bathurst? You tell me. You can't serve it anywhere over here. But bear in mind, if I don't serve it soon, it's going to increase. So I need to serve it soon, but can't serve it here. Little mistake there through Skyline. Through the S's, control your speed here. Don't do what he did and go wide, because then you compromise through the dipper. And I think, right, I need to service somewhere. Let's try and do it through the dipper. At least it's a slow bit of track. It's not very wide though. And there you go. What can you do? So I was trying to not push and just let the race come to me, but sometimes a little bit of contact like that's unavoidable. And that's why I think these penalties are a bit harsh, because there was nothing wrong with what happened there. We were both just racing. He could have given me a bit more room, considering he made about 3 mistakes in the space of 2 seconds. But he doesn't have to, does he? And there's no way I can get past there. It's just a shame that we got that penalty. I mean, you could barely notice it, but it cost us heavy. We lost about probably 5 seconds in the dip. If the penalty wouldn't have been 5 seconds, I think it was about 3. But by the time you've slowed down and accelerated again, and this was painful. You've gone off the track, so hold on, we'll rewind for that, because I forgot that happened. Let's watch it from the exterior. So he's gone off the track, look. I mean, come on, bro. let me have some. I mean, there we go. What can you say? Got out of that guy's room. Got out of that guy's room. Got out of that guy's way. Gave that guy room. Onto the last lap. So now we're down to 6th. He's serving his penalty, which, to be honest, he probably could have done when he came back on the track, and he wouldn't have needed to spear me off as well, but never mind. But it's not worth getting worked up about. And I think after this race we hopped into another one, and although things didn't go our way in this race, they went our way in that other one, so, you know, just it's not worth getting too frustrated about. Everyone's in the same boat at the moment as well, that's important to remember. So although it might feel like you're being hard done by, I think everybody's being hard done by, so I think it'll all wash out in the end. Maybe after a week or so, the proper crazy drivers will have been knocked back a little bit, and we can all have some nice races where we're not all trying to smash 100% qualifying lap times the whole time. He makes another mistake coming through the cutting, so this time we were able to capitalise on that mistake. He could have slammed the door shut as well, and it would have resulted in another penalty, but he had the common sense to not do it. Through Skyline, tricky corner, because you've got that little bump on the approach, so it depends on the car obviously, but I always want to lift the throttle there just so I've got the control on the car, because if you're trying to go flat out, that little bump's going to just put you wide and end up in the gravel. And again through here, when you first do the track you want to attack that corner, but it's actually a braking zone, so you can hug this wall and get the drive down Conrad Straight. It took me a while to get that back in GT6 when I first started driving this track. I was always too deep into Falcon Corner, or Bentley Elbow as it's called now, Forest Elbow formerly as well. I was always too hot through that right-hander after the dipper, and I was just carrying too much speed because it's downhill as well into Bentley Elbow. And here he is, look. So after all that fighting with his mistakes, a bit too deep there. I thought I was going to get him, but I don't think we do. But we'll take P4, you know, you can't win them all. But yeah, I think probably my biggest tip for this track then is try and hug that inside wall at Bentley Elbow. There's a lot of lap time there because you carry whatever you gain on that corner all the way down Conrad Straight, and it's a very fast straight, so it's worth aiming for. Right, so that was that one. We didn't win it. 3rd from 2nd. It's a bit of a disappointing result, but I don't think we did anything wrong. It's just the way it goes. So let's carry that positive mental attitude into another race. And here we are now with that 2nd race. Let me just sort these out. So, same track, same race, still that race B from the dailies today. Mount Panorama, Bathurst. So that last race didn't go too well for us. We're starting from the same position, P2. And we're hoping to not have a repeat of that last race. But I'm not going to do too much differently. I still don't really want to hassle the guy in first place too hard. I just want to try and avoid penalties at all costs. That's my only aim in these races at the moment. And this guy gets very wide through Porsche curve. He's off the grass here, look, and he actually gets a bit of air there as well. We'll see if we can we see it. Let's go back. Let's have a look. So it's very important to hug the inside of Porsche curve. He's learnt that now firsthand. Off he goes. Can't quite see it. Never mind. Does he come back on? as we go down Mountain Straight. He's back on. Here we go. He's back on. Let's go back. So into Griffins, and another one very important to hug the inside there. I think I said it in the first video, so I won't say it again. But yeah, pretty much the aim of most corners, to be honest. But particularly those two, just because of the camber and because of the wall on the outside. Well, the gravel in Porsche, but same principle. So here we go. Look, through the cutting. Oh, there's been a position change for P2, and noticed that in the race. Let's go back. We might as well. Let's have a look. Where's he? Into the cutting. That's cheeky. Yeah, definite contact and a penalty. I think you heard the impact. What's it look like from his point of view? Because that's, I mean, what do you guys think about that? That's never an overtaking place, is it? Through the cutting. Let's do it again. But it looks like he gets well alongside. So, what do you guys think? I mean, I wouldn't personally make that move, but he's well alongside. I'm gonna have to do it again. I'm sorry, because what's he called? Shishkev. He leaves the door wide open as if he's doing qualifying laps. Probably not expecting someone to send it up the inside, to be honest. And also, he does. Let's watch it from. Oh, sorry, what have I done? Let's watch it from Shishkev's POV. So let's go. I'm sorry, I keep doing this. Oh yeah, that's not on. Well, I mean, what do you guys think? Let's have a vote. I'm saying I don't think that's on. I mean, he kind of makes it work, but there's just not the room. So even though he is enough alongside, what's he expecting Shishkev to do at that point? It's always going to result in contact. So I think that's the sort of thing that people are going to have to learn to, or try to just not do as much. Because he'd have been fine with that move, wouldn't he, before this patch? But I wonder if he got a penalty for it. I hope he did. I think he probably deserves one. He surely will have done. Because if I'm getting penalties for the slightest little taps on someone's bumper, or even worse, when they give me the slightest little tap, surely he must have a penalty. I'm sorry, I'm just staying on board with him, just at least until the end of the lap. I want to see if he's got a penalty or not. We'll go on board with this guy. I'll switch back to me at the end of the lap. I just want to see if he's got a penalty. Not Shishkev, the guy in P2 with the unpronounceable gobbledygook name. XYZ13 Zooks. That guy. He's not slowed down yet. And look at them again down the straight. It's ridiculous. I've never driven this car. I wonder if I should. Because it was just uncatchable down this straight. 116 and McGann at the end of Conrad. He still hasn't served a penalty, has he? Oh, if I was going to serve one, I'd serve it here. And he hasn't done it. Or on the outside of that corner. Or on the inside here on the left. Or maybe he's just going to carry it to the end of the race. Weird. Alright, we'll go back on board then. So through Porsche, again, very important to get the inside. And the reason why is because you've got this long drive down Mountain Straight, haven't you? I remember the name now. You've got this long drive down Mountain Straight. So Porsche Curve isn't really about Porsche Curve. It's about Mountain Straight. So don't worry about trying to take Porsche Curve as fast as you can. Worry about trying to get the best exit from Porsche Curve so you get the best drive up Mountain Straight. And similarly with Griffin, although this little bit of straight's obviously not as long because it's slightly uphill. Again, it's just very important just to get that drive, carry your momentum. So Griffin's bend is just think of it as a momentum maintainer. All that momentum from Conrad, all that petrol you use to drive yourself down, sorry, not Conrad, Mountain, all that petrol you used. Don't go too hot into Griffin and run a bit wide and scrub off some tyre and have to get out the throttle. You know, all that stuff's just not optimal. Try and just float the car into Griffins on the inside, use the camber of the track to your advantage, and continue that drive that you have from Mountain up towards the cutting. We can talk about the Mountain on the next lap because I was too busy talking about Griffin for that lap. This is probably the most important corner though. Bentley elbow. Control your speed on the way in. I cannot say that enough. don't get carried away through that right-hander, because it's appealing. It's a very appealing corner. You've just come through the dipper. It's a fun bit of track as well. You've got the gradient, you're downhill. It just feels nice to throw the car through those corners. But don't get carried away. Remember what the goal is. The goal is to do the maximum lap time. And yeah, so the key at the end of the lap is to control your speed and get a good exit from Bentley Elbow. And it's steep downhill as well, so it's hard. It's hard to brake because you need to be steering as well. So you really can't go in too hot because there's nothing. You need to steer and brake. So if you're going too hot, you've had it. And there's a wall there as well. There's no runoff, so that's why it's a tricky track. That's why it's so good though. That's why I love it so much. So here, look, calm into Porsche. I didn't do that corner particularly well, but I'm in the lead. I want to get this win. I don't want to mess it up. So that's why I'm just taking it easy. But maybe I could do some track guides or something in the future. Now, I'm not the fastest by any means, and I know I'm not. But we can all learn from each other. And I genuinely have some good lines. So if you just take my lines and do everything that I do faster, you might be okay. But yeah, maybe I could do that in the future. I think that might be quite a nice thing to do. I think I'd quite enjoy it. Maybe show some footage of me messing it up, which, believe me, happens a lot, especially in qualifying. But yeah, so the key for all the build up through the mountain, or this bit of track here, is if you're trying to go fast, you need to use the full width of the track. Now, I won't be doing it here because I'm on my last lap, and I didn't do it there, as you can see. But maybe if you go back and watch race 1 again, if there's any bits where I'm not in traffic, where I'm pushing, try and see how much track I use, how close to the walls I'm getting. And that's the key to Bathurst, and important just to control your speed through there. I could probably do that faster, but I'm more focused on just trying to control the speed so I'm not overshooting it into the dipper, because it's so easy for the rear to come round again. And same here, look how slow I'm going there. But it doesn't really matter, because although there's obviously lap time on the approach, there's more lap time to lose on the last lap and in general from messing up the exit of that corner than there is from getting the entrance absolutely perfect. So I know I was slow on the entrance to Bentley Elbow there, I know I was, but it's the last lap of the race, so it doesn't matter, and I just wanted to get a good drive out in case there was anyone nearby. But where is he? Yeah, Jeremy just going through the chase. Doesn't seem to have served a penalty, that guy, which is interesting. Or maybe he just got a massive one at the end of the race, I can't remember. That could well be the case. But there we go, we got the win. So just stick with it, guys. I know it's tough at the moment, but good luck out there. Let me know how you get on, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, bye.